influenced or to influence other people. I want to be inspired and empowered.
Can you...
And informed.
Yeah,
and
what's the
inspire,
difference?
empower, and inform other people. Well, influence is like suggesting that you have some kind of power over someone else. Or they have some kind of power over you, and you're not making the thought yourself. It's like being hypnotized, essentially.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So it's like all these people being called social media or Instagram influencers. It's saying that they have so much power.
They're just getting people to do
They're
what
just
they
getting
want
people
them to
to
do.
like. They just put up a post, and they get people to do what they want to do. Like, did you guys see the documentary Fire? Yeah, it's like that. I mean,
It's crazy. Have you seen that, James?
No.
well, James wouldn't see it because he doesn't have the internet. So, which I just found out. This is crazy. But like these people, it was actually Ja Rule and this other dude. Who,
Oh, yeah, they told me about
yeah.
it. Uh-huh.
So if you haven't seen Fire, look it up. It's on. There's one on Hulu and there's one on Netflix. But they had these quote unquote influencers come in or post on social media and stuff, and then you got mad people to sign up for this thing because they made it look really good. But it's basically saying that all of these influencers just have the power over you. Like if they're doing something, I want to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the people was Kendall Jenner, and she just posted it, like got money for it and posted it, act like she was excited to go there, and like she got paid a ton of money for it, and
No,
a
everyone
ton
wants
of
to go
people
'cause she wants
signed
to
up.
go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so she influenced all these people, which like think for yourself.
Yeah,
like it's
you
not her
really-
fault; it's
Mhm.
everyone else's fault.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like who wouldn't take a ton of money just to post a picture of something that is like pretty innocent,
Uh-huh.
which turned out it wasn't innocent, but not her part in it. But
Well, you know what? It's interesting when you talk about that being innocent. We won't go all the way deep into this theory because we're talking about more like our personal lives here and like what really like inspired us. But like we could go really deep into the idea of like influence versus inspiration. And when you say like something like that's innocent, yeah, but on like you're taking money to post something innocent, but on whose behalf? Like on what behalf are you doing? Have you chosen this as your life's work? That I'm gonna get paid to do this, so other people will do it because I did it. Like you know what you're doing. Like when you're an influencer, like you know what you're doing. Like why are you doing it?
yeah,
Like to what end are you doing it?
but at the same time, you can come back and be like, but is there anything wrong with that?
Is there anything wrong with it? I don't think there's anything technically wrong with. I mean, anything. Like it's like
Well,
it's just like why are you doing it? Like
but it's just like I'll see that post and be like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like the thing that's wrong with it is that
people will see
people
it
will see it and be
Uh-huh.
influenced by it. Like she wouldn't be getting paid that money if that wasn't happening. It's just like it's just like anything. If consumers aren't going to buy it, then it's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, like it's not her fault that these people are impressionable. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
You start thinking about this, you really do start to think like, okay, then like how impressionable is everybody? Like, is it their fault or is it the fault of the people who's impressing upon them? And then you really got to think like, how impressionable am I? Like, because I know you don't want to talk about these things as being influential to you, but it's like at a certain level, like they were influential, and it's like, where is the line between inspiration and influence? You know what I mean? And that could be a whole topic in itself that would probably get a little off the rails.
like empower me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to feel empowered after I listen to their music or something like that, and just be like, wow, their passion or those words, like that inspires me to do what I want to do.
Them being themselves makes me want to be myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole path of self-inquiry is about getting to that place of yourself that is not conditioned, that's not influenced. Because like so much of our outer personality and like a lot of the things we do, even things we think came from our own thoughts, like a lot of it is, part of a chain of influence that has been set in motion since before we were born. You know what I mean? Just the social society we're in, the clothes we wear, like the things that we like. So much of that has already been put in place before we came into the picture. So it's like, walking the path of self-inquiry is about getting underneath all that and saying, all right, there's a part of me that's not conditioned by conditions. There's a part of me that's not influenced by the environment. What is that part? And then learning to live from that part.
Yeah.
And not be affected by the things
So
around
I
you.
think it's like it's interesting though, and if anyone listening to this starts to think about like, am I being influenced by this, or am I being inspired and empowered by it? And you just see, or like, what things have I been influenced by, and that would just kind of be interesting.
Yeah, to really be honest with yourself and start thinking, and you could probably sort out. Okay, well maybe this thing I've been doing, I just kind of did it because I just accepted some suggestion from outside somewhere that told me that I should be doing it. Maybe I don't need to do that anymore. Maybe I can spend more time, focusing on this other thing instead.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like maybe you agree with something and you're like, that is exactly what I want to do, but it's still going to be your own thing because it's you doing it. So, but it kind of comes back to what we've said many times, like question everything.
Yeah.
And make sure like you can go into how deep you question it, but make sure it's you're doing it because you actually want to do it, and it fits into what you want to do,
rather than it being born of some sort of fear of not doing something a certain way enough, or some sort of fear of not being enough like something you saw.
Like going to Disney World and stuff, and that was fun, but it was only like later on in my life that I really got into Walt Disney, and it's Walt Disney. It's not like I like Disney. It's all good, but the reason why it's good is because of Walt Disney and what he did, and that he really like inspired me like crazy reading his book, like his long book. Went through it twice, 2.5 times probably. But he was all about quality and doing what he really wanted to do, and he didn't do anything different. He didn't invent anything really. I mean, except for animatronics, he kind of got that started.
Did he?
But there was already animation. He just made it better. There was already sound in animation, but he made it better. And there wasn't many people doing sound, but he just did it better. He figured out a way to do it better. And then, because he was all about quality, he might have started the color thing, I forget, but he was one of the first to do color, and he just pushed boundaries. He was the first to do the Snow White. It was the first feature animated movie, but it was all about quality. And that is consistent through Disney today. I mean, like people would say, "Oh, the quality's gone down, or this has gone down," but who knows if it has? I mean,
the kids still like it just as much.
Yeah, and Walt Disney is literally so far as kind of a one of a kind of guy. So I actually remember when I was working in physical therapy, like at the physical therapy clinic. Before I started Logan Kinei, I used to think like the way that I put like programs together for people, I thought it was more artistic than it was scientific. Like that's the way that I looked at it, and it's just like why does it have to be scientific? It was more of a feel thing. It's more of a feel and what's going on. Like I don't care what the papers say, like what's going on with this person, and then how do you put it together so then it adds up in the end to what you want it to be. So like I looked at it as that.
And
like
you trusted the feel.
Yeah, trusted the feel. But people struggle to call certain things art. Like David Chang, I listen to his podcast all the time. If you don't know him, he's the chef who started Momofuku and all these great restaurants, and he's this big restaurateur now. He's got a really successful podcast, but he's like he's an artist. You're like chefs are artists for sure, and he doesn't see it that way. He like struggles to call himself an artist. Like why? Why do you struggle to call yourself an artist, man? You're an artist.
Yeah, I mean, I think art. The only real definitive thing about art is that it's a can-do mindset as opposed to a can't-do mindset. You know, it's just someone who is willing to believe that things are possible, whatever that thing is. You know, and then the act of making it possible is art.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it is. How you respond to that? There's always going to be hate because people are going to be jealous of so many things because they're not cool with themselves.
And like you said, it's relative. Like if you're walking down the street, you're going to have people that don't like the way you look and people that do like the way you look. And then if you're famous, you're going to have like 100,000 people that like you or 100,000 people that hate you.
Typically is it's their own issue that they're projecting on you. Like, I don't like you because I don't understand why you're popular and why people like you.
And some people are more susceptible to that, and some people are less susceptible to that as far as mattering to them.
Right.
And it's good.
Yeah,
and that was
you're
it.
Feeling it.
Yeah,
now.
it felt good
like,
to do it. I was doing, and as I was doing it, just felt righteous, man. It just sounded righteous.
And
I don't care. No one might ever hear them. Like they might never. or maybe like I'll make 10 more and then they'll end up being the best things I ever made in someone else's eyes. Yeah. But it's definitely the most honest stuff I've ever made. It's definitely the most genuinely how I felt in that moment, because I'm not making it to make any sort of statement or making it to prove anything to anybody about any kind of image I'm trying to put out. Like, it was just how I was feeling at the time. Yeah. And like before, you know, like like we talked about vulnerability, there's a lot of resistance to being that vulnerable. Like if you're trying to make a career of your art, because it's like, is this really the kind of image I want to put out? Like, what if I had an off day and then I wrote a song about being off that day? Like, do I want that on the album? Because then people aren't going to think that I'm this, because I'm trying to be this thing. And like, you're trying to create a persona. And like these whole last few months was about unraveling that persona for me. Like, there is no person, there's no persona. Like, just do it. Like, just do it. So it's just like, just do it. Yeah. If it feels good. And like, if the song's in my head, then like, yeah, it feels good to play it. Right. And then like if my kids come in the room and make me stop, like, or they like grab the guitar and are like, no, daddy, like, do something else. I just do something else. Like, I don't care. Like, whereas a year ago, that shit would drive me nuts. Like, I need more time alone. Like, I need more time to get this done. Like, it wasn't peaceful. It was like, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. Like, now it's like, a couple months ago, I didn't give a shit if I did it at all. So now it's like, it's cool. There's no trying to get anything out of it. It's just happening. And it's better for it. It's better for it. But like, I'm not focused on it being better. I'm just trying not to focus on anything. I'm just